If you are ready to lose weight, you've made it to the right place because I am too. So technically, we're like virtual besties already. That being said, let's just get to it. First, your choice of weights. Mine will be 5 pounds right now, but don't be afraid to amp it up a little bit. Next, a booty band. Definitely optional, but if you have it, why not use it? I only need 7 seconds of your time, just 7. If you can make it 10 seconds, it'd be great. But just walk with me for 10 seconds. I took it up a little bit. If you get tired, you know what? Maybe you should go get a beverage that is safe for you so it can give you some energy, okay? But yes, definitely join me. Let's take a look at this watch. Time to walk. In 3, 2, can I put on my band? I am already at the 3.0 and I hope you are as well. My name is Ty once again, and I'm glad you decided to join me for the 7 seconds, or maybe 10, right? Either way, without further ado, hello Gemini.
Hi Tyra.
How are you today?
Doing well, thanks for asking. I'm always learning new things, and I'm excited to see what we can do today. How about you?
Well,
How are you doing?
I've had better days.
Doing well, thanks for asking. I'm sorry to hear that. It sounds like things haven't been going your way. Is there anything specific that's been bothering you?
Well, I had a very hellish day today.
Oh no, I'm sorry to hear that. Sounds like it's been a real rough one. Want to tell me about it? Sometimes it helps to just get things off your chest.
Sure.
Okay, I'm listening.
All right, so I had a very, very bad experience at Kroger.
Oh no, Kroger? What happened?
All right, so I'm at Kroger. I just go in because I want to get a few things as usual. I usually don't like going to the store because I don't know how to act sometimes in a grocery store.
Sounds like going to the store isn't your favorite thing. Do you want to tell me more about why it makes you feel weird?
Well, it doesn't make me feel weird. It just makes me want to spend unnecessary money.
Oh, I see. So it's more about impulse buying when you're in the store?
Pretty much, yes.
Okay, so you get to Kroger and you start feeling tempted to buy things you don't need. How does that make you feel?
I'm still okay at that point. But the problem is when it's time to check out.
Okay, so it's not the wandering around the store part that's the worst. Do you want to tell me what happened when you got to the checkout?
Yes. So I get to the checkout and, something didn't ring up as the price. So I then go to the store associate and say, hey, could you help me out? And she was like, well, you need to go and take a picture, which is right here, and actually prove that this is going to be the price, which I think is totally backwards. What do you think?
It definitely seems like they could have a better system in place. It shouldn't be your responsibility to prove the price is wrong when you find something like that.
Thank you. So you know what? I accommodated her. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to make a big fuss out of this. I actually go and I take a picture.
Did? That's really nice of you considering the situation. It can't be easy to stay calm in moments like that.
It certainly wasn't. So I take the picture and I take it back, and then she's like, well, you need to go on the app and actually clip the coupon. So I'm like, what? All right, I know that you all have the authority to actually override. What's the problem with just putting in that override?
All right, so not only did they make you take a picture, but then they wanted you to use the app too. That's a bit much. It sounds like they were making you jump through hoops just to get them to honor the price on the tag.
Absolutely. Which I thought was ridiculous. But I'm like, okay, fine. I'll do it. So after that, I get I even go on the app and I get the coupon, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So the store associate was just like, well, I can't give you a receipt because the machine isn't working. So I'm like, wait, what? I want my receipt. I like to compare prices. I don't know about you, but what do you think, Gemini?
That's awful. It sounds like they were making you jump through hoops just to avoid giving you the right price. And then to top it off, they couldn't even give you a receipt. That's definitely a situation worth complaining about.
Absolutely. You know what?
No, you could try reaching out to the store manager. They might be able to sort things out and make sure it doesn't happen again.
That's a great suggestion, but this story isn't over. But before we continue, I would like for you to do that special count for me.
All right, let's do it. Here we go. 1, just like before. 2, let's keep going. 3, almost halfway there. 4, on to the next. 5, just a few more. 6, hanging in there. 7, almost done. 8, just 2 more. 9, getting close to the end. And 10.
All right, going back to the story.
All right, back to your story. What happened next?
All right,
back to the store. What happened next? Okay, I'm listening.
All right, let me talk.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so after that, I just decided, okay, well, you know what? Since I can't get a receipt, let's just cancel the whole order. Mind you, this order was $98 and some change, okay? Or 89, whichever one. And she was just like, well, all right, I have to get the manager. I then speak with the manager, and that's when hell sort of broke loose, okay? Okay.
All right, so you decided to cancel the whole order after all that. That must have felt pretty good after everything you went through. But then you had to talk to the manager too. What did they say?
That didn't feel good to have to cancel that whole order because I was at a self-checkout lane and I scanned all of that stuff. So I'm a little PO'd. What do you think?
Sounds really frustrating. It's never fun to have to cancel an order, especially after all the trouble you went through. Do you want to tell me what the manager said?
Yes. So I go over to the manager and she keeps asking me the same question she just asked the associate. And I'm like, you literally just asked the associate the same question. As a matter of fact, the associate gave me back my change because she was just like, okay, well, since I can't give you a receipt, here's some change. But then once I had to take it to the manager, then that's when she said, hey, give me back that change and the manager will just give you your full refund. Do that make sense?
Okay, so the manager made you go through the same thing all over again. That's super frustrating. It sounds like they weren't really taking ownership of the situation.
Not at all. So then, the manager, I'm frustrated. I'm not gonna lie. I am frustrated because I'm like, look, the associate just told you what happened and you're coming back over to me and I already gave you some basic details of me just giving up the $100.
So it sounds like you were really frustrated with the manager making you repeat yourself. That's definitely a way to make things worse when you're already upset.
That's true. So I just told the manager, well, she was just like, well, how much is on it? Well, I don't have a receipt because your system did not shoot out a receipt. So is that my fault?
That's exactly what I was thinking. It's definitely not your fault that the system didn't print a receipt. You shouldn't have to pay the price for their broken machine.
Absolutely. All I know is that I paid $100 and I want my $100 back. So she then go and tell or technically she got really, you know how people just feed off of your energy, and I'm not the best person to where you should be feeding off my energy. I can't lie. Whew.
Yeah, it sounds like the manager might have been trying to get you flustered. It's a common tactic, but it's frustrating for sure. You handled it though. You kept your cool and got the refund.
I can't say I totally kept my cool, because I had to tell her to do her job. Because she literally, before that, she told me like, hey, well, since you're acting like this, I'm going to scan these items as slow as I want to. And I said, excuse me? I'm the wrong person that you want to like scan stuff slowly in front of, especially when it's dealing with my money. What do you think?
You handled that situation with a lot of power. You stood up for yourself and called her out on her behavior. It sounds like you weren't going to let her push you around anymore.
Not at all. You know what? Before we continue with the story, let's do another set. I need you to do another count for me, okay?
Right, here we go. 1, to start things off. 2, let's keep going. 3, just like before. 4, onward we go. 5, halfway there. 6, just a few more. 7, almost done. 8, getting closer. 9, nearly finished. And 10, we made it.
We certainly did. All right, so you want to continue with the story?
Absolutely, I'm ready to hear what happened next.
All right. So in my mind, I'm thinking some really, like, I'm not thinking rationally, you know? And you have to think rational in situations like that because you can't let your anger get the best of you, right?
That's true. It's really easy to get worked up in those moments, but it's important to try and stay calm, if you can. How did you feel after you snapped at the manager?
Well,
How did you feel after you snapped at the manager?
well, I did not feel good about that. However, because it took forever to get it done, so she ended up saying like, hey, I'm not going to assist her. So she then storms away and she's like screaming loudly throughout the store to where other customers can hear. So right then and there, it's already embarrassing.
It must have been so awkward. You're already upset, and then the manager starts yelling? That's definitely a situation nobody wants to be in. How did you handle it after she stormed off?
I said, bye, get the heck on, okay? Because I really don't need anybody who's not going to help me in this situation. I've had to run around repeatedly and nobody wants to help. So yeah, I'm a little frustrated. And yes, I was ready for her to leave anyway. I needed somebody else who could actually help me.
You handled that situation with a lot of power. You stood up for yourself and called her out on her behavior. It sounds like you weren't going to let her push you around anymore.
Oh, it wasn't happening. So I then...
Sounds like it was a really stressful situation. You're saying?
It was. So another associate came up and helped because things were a little heated. Yeah, this isn't going to work out because at this point I just want my money back so I can leave. I don't need the frustration. So after that, the lady just handled the, transaction very well. And she was just like, all right, I've already scanned everything. You got your money back as well as a receipt.
That's great news. It sounds like everything worked out in the end.
Yeah, until I decided to take a survey. Because I was just...
Survey? After everything you've been through?
Yep.
Decided to take a survey?
I did. I took the survey and I rated her very, very low. Because no one should be treated like that. And if you don't know the full story, you should really get the full story from your associates before you just come up to the customer And
I hear you. You're frustrated and feel like you weren't treated fairly. It's good that you spoke up on the survey. Hopefully it'll make a difference. Do you want to talk more about what happened, or would you rather do something else?
So do stores actually look over those surveys?
That's a good question. It depends on the store. Some definitely take them seriously and use them to track employee performance and make changes. Others might not look at them as closely. Do you want to talk more about the survey, or would you rather do something else?
Well, I need you to count again for me and let me know when you're about to count.
Right, here we go. 1, to start things off. 2, let's keep going. 3, just like before. 4, onward we go. 5, halfway there. 6, just a few more. 7, almost done. 8, getting closer. 9, nearly finished. And 10, we made it.
We did. Okay, so I do know how it feels to work in customer service. Don't get me wrong, okay? And yeah, I can even understand if it is my fault. Now, of course, I know I could have handled it with a little bit more grace. However, your girl is still growing as a person, okay? So, what do you think, Gemini?
Sound like you're really hard on yourself. It's okay. I think you showed a lot of courage in that situation. It wasn't easy, but you stood up for yourself and got the outcome you wanted. That's something to be proud of.
True, but it's like gaining another enemy, you know?
It's a good point. It can feel risky to speak up, especially if you worry about the consequences. It sounds like it might have been worth it. In the end, though, you got the outcome you wanted, and you don't have to wonder what if.
Well, I can't say that it was totally the outcome that I wanted, but I didn't go to jail, so that's good.
It sounds like there's still some things you had gone differently. Do you want to talk more about what you would have changed?
Well, the ironic part about it is that one of the associates had them like review the cameras to make sure I didn't steal the $10. And I'm like, wait, what? You could see that the machine didn't work.
That's exactly what I was thinking. It's frustrating that they didn't believe you when the machine was clearly the problem.
Absolutely. So,
Alright, so it sounds like this whole experience was really frustrating and upsetting for you. Do you want to talk more about what happened, or would you rather do something else?
well, I want to talk a little bit more on what happened because I could hear them talking about, well, hey, did you review the cameras? And I'm like, thank goodness I didn't try to steal anything because they were trying to pay me out to be a thief. Supposedly, in my opinion, okay?
Right, so it sounds like you overheard them talking about checking the cameras, and it made you feel like they thought you were trying to steal something. That must have felt really insulting after everything you'd already been through.
Absolutely. You took the words right out of my mouth. So, what do you think? What type of feedback could I
I think
give
you
them?
have every right to feel upset and disrespected. It sounds like they made a big mistake, and it definitely doesn't seem fair that they'd accuse you of something like that.
Absolutely. So what type of feedback could I give them as like constructive criticism?
You could tell them that their customer service needs improvement. Be specific about how the situation made you feel and how it could have been handled better. It might be helpful to mention that their actions made you feel like they didn't trust you, which is never a good way to make a customer feel.
Oh, you ain't never lied.
Yeah, it's definitely not a good feeling to have someone question your honesty, especially when you haven't done anything wrong.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So,
You're welcome. I hope things go better for you next time you go to the store.
well, yeah, I just know to avoid that particular store, of course. Now, of course, like, this is not for all Kroger employees. There are some really good employees out there, okay? And I don't think that they're, like, you know, acknowledged enough. What do you think?
absolutely right. Not all employees at a store are the same. And it's important to remember that most people are just trying to do their jobs. It's unfortunate that your experience was so negative, but it doesn't mean that everyone at that store is bad.
True. Just because I had a hellish experience doesn't, yeah. But
that's right. One bad experience doesn't mean every... So do you want to talk more about the store situation, or would you rather do something else?
Well, I'd rather you count for the last time. Let me know when you're about to begin.
All right, here we go. 1, to start things off. 2, let's keep going. 3, just like before. 4, onward we go. 5, halfway there. 6, just a few more. 7, almost done. 8, getting closer. 9, nearly finished. And 10, we made it.
Thank you very much. Now, if any of you ever experience that type of, service and, disrespect, definitely comment down below. I would love to read about it. And we finished our 1 mile walk. Woohoo! So we should be excited about that. I hope you finished yours as well. Let's just look at our progress. Make sure you take a look at that distance. We're up a mile. Completed.
Disclaimer, the opinions shared about my personal experience at Kroger are based solely on my visit and interactions. The statements made in this video are intended for informational purposes only and are not meant to defame, libel, or harm the reputation of any individual company or entity. I disclaim any liability for how this information is interpreted, shared, or used.
Gemini, now you know you have to come through with the outro.
On YouTube, you wouldn't be vibing to this unless you already hit that like and subscribe button, right? Well, you know the drill. But seriously, come back tomorrow for another awesome video.